we're in crazy pandemic times again, and it's we've got to wake people up to the fact that body sovereignty, to choose to live or to choose to die, is as long as you don't suicide yourself, because God, I do believe that suicide is a really difficult topic, but it shouldn't be something that anyone is forced to do or chooses to do, if their life is supported. But I think we will soon be asked whether we want to risk death or live a fulfilled life. And I'm happy to risk death and live a fulfilled life rather than kneecap myself and live medicated and get locked down. So
psychology has its place in this world. There are certain benefits for it, but suicide can't be solved by just psychology. I think it's a spiritual matter, because Satan, the Bible says, comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And basically he operates in the world through thoughts. So it can be thoughts through, say, Putin or Hitler that he inspires, but also it can be these suicidal thoughts and depression, that it's like a spiritual pressure. And the Bible has the answers. The walking with God through, basically mankind has been designed to walk with God and explore the universe, heaven and after death, whatever. But it's everything the world can offer can only give you a certain amount of pleasure before you're on the next high, in a sense. But with God, he has sort of like the constant high that's always new levels of revelation and stuff like that. So that's
and I mean
suicides, right? That's why
and also I think we need to realize that when we have negative experiences, there is meaning and purpose to those, and it's up to us to find the lesson, the meaning, the purpose of that experience. And I know that's easily said and very difficult to do. There have been a number of occasions where I wish I was in a very dark place, but I did, on reflection, have a learning point that brought me out and brought me better. Closer to God, closer to nature, closer to myself, closer to my family. So we need to, I think, everyone take a moment and reflect on themselves and also their place within this world, and figure out, are they in the best place that they can be? And if they're not, they need to take action and get themselves into a much better place. And if everyone does that, I think a lot of these problems, Ukraine, Putin, China, Biden, whatever, these megalomaniac World Economic Forum problems would actually probably resolve themselves, because they wouldn't have the space and the platform to be able to undermine our thoughts. Are these people all Satanists trying to destroy us? Who knows? But certainly we don't need them. We only need ourselves and arguably God and nature and community, love, etc. And we need to find more of it.
I think a lot of the motivation behind a lot of these elitist things now, I don't mean elitist as people that are well educated or well off, whether that it's basically people that are, for all intents and purposes, bored of just normal life, and they want extra power, they want to live forever, they want to do transhumanism, they want to control people. Basically, they're part of this system that basically wants to replace your walk with God with just artificial things. And I guess the more you're comfortable with artificial things, the more that they won't satisfy you, and then they want the more and more extreme things to basically so that's why we're always wanting upgrades, internet speeds, or want higher definition, or want connected to our brains type experiences in movies and virtual realities. So basically we'll end up with this sort of alternate system, which might be the beast which you get part of, and you're like sucked in this thing and you're worshipping this beast system, or you manage to escape it somehow and follow the light, because in the book of Daniel prophesies that in the end days people will run to and fro like airplanes, whatever. The knowledge will increase, and the lightness will get lighter, and the darkness will get darker. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you could liken our obsession with inappropriate technology as being something satanic. And, the natural world that God created is sort of the nature, that's sort of the God side. The technology is what we created. God, yes, God created us, but we're trying to create artificial intelligence and the like. Um, it will be really interesting. And I mean, that's why I think it's really cool that you do all of these podcasts, because there's a little bit of a knowledge consciousness growing journey just by virtue of your podcast. It's almost like a catalog of you growing your consciousness and then sharing that growing consciousness with other people, which then has a multiplier effect. And that's a positive light force that we need to all be doing. You do it with the podcast. I try to do it with my activism and my films and interviews and speaking to people and trying to change the things that I think are wrong or unethical or immoral. And hopefully that inspires other people to do the same. So, I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to podcast number 1000. You're already in the hundreds. So it will be really interesting to see where that journey takes you.
It's nice to have taken a little 3 month 3 month break. I actually took a break from the podcast, because when I take these breaks, sometimes there's a little bit of a difference when I come back to a bit of a freshness,
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, and that's what we need. We need sometimes to step back and reflect, do something else, and then you'll realize what you appreciated or didn't, and come back to things. I mean, I'm probably the same with my Wim Hof and my breath work and my ice bathing. I have to admit that I sometimes take breaks from that as well. And hopefully when you come back to it, you have more motivation. You see it from a different perspective. It's almost like a new experience again.